You took out the kite naked. That was a very
exactly. Yeah.
That was a very Scandinavian. That was probably a good idea over the wines you were drinking, and then you thought, and the next day you thought, hang on a second.
All right, mate. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, man. What's happening?
It's good. Yeah. So, episode number 7.
7 already, huh?
Yeah. Getting closer to the first 10.
Dude, I remember when I was like doing my podcast and I was like, oh, what am I'm going to have to do something big for 50. And I was like, oh, but I never did. And I sort of tried to do something for 100. And I guess I'm thinking about 200 now, you know, it goes
you're
pretty
like,
crazy.
What is it? 170 or something like that though?
I think 181 on the actual main run. But on top of that, there's, 8 Collins corners that I don't count. And there's been 4 other ones for, like the cable parks, kiteboards and cable park series, which I did. So I think I'm probably up around getting close to 200, but chronologically 181 as per the normal podcast, but overall 200 for sure, I think. Yeah. Maybe 200 actually. That's actually a pretty interesting thing. But I'm trying to think, will I be able to get 200 this year? So I'm like, it's another 19 this year. I don't know. We'll see how I go. Maybe I'll try and finish on a bang for Christmas,
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
But I don't want to push it now. I used to be on this insane drive, just keep pushing out content. But I find that it's better that I just let it naturally come, Like, actually, the funny thing is I haven't got anyone planned. I was just sitting today, I was thinking, I guess I should probably think of another podcast. Normally I've got them booked up for a month, but I looked in my diary. I was like, I actually haven't got anyone booked in. I mean, I've got lots of people who I've sort of been speaking to, but nothing confirmed. So it's funny how it goes that way, Every month I think, am I going to find someone to talk to this month? And then pop, 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 pop. They just appear.
How hard is it to get people to participate?
No, easy.
Yeah.
That's the easy part. It used to be the hard part. Now that's easy, right? I mean, I just have to text them now. So I used to have to send massive message out, guys, please come on the podcast. No one want to come on, but now I can't think of anyone recently who has said no. I mean, they all pretty much. Actually, the only person who still evades me to this day is Liam.
Oh yeah,
which has become like a bit of a running joke now between Colin, Carol, and myself. The only person who, is yet to really come on the podcast really of thing is Aaron. The other one is Ayrton. Ayrton and I have spoken a few times, but nothing confirmed. And but you can't make those guys come on. It can only come on if they want to,
Oh yeah. I don't think they're dodging you. Maybe it's something else, Just,
I think
maybe it's a little bit intimidating to be part of it as well.
But it's easy, bro. I mean, you've been on the podcast. It's super simple, right? It's just talking to a computer. It's not.
I know. But
there's no feel of numbers. There's no feel of pressure. And I can edit, and I can also edit it down to the way I want, right? So if you make a mistake, say, I want to say that again. I just write down the timestamp. I just write on a piece of paper timestamp, and then I just edit that out. Edit it out later. I mean, I don't want to do any editing because A, I'm too lazy, and B, but mate, it sounds more natural,
Yeah.
I mean, that's more natural conversation to make mistakes and stumble through things. And if I do have to do constant editing, it's harder to find the rhythm of the communication, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm trying not to edit too much myself either in our calls and also in the team talks I had with the Kite Games. As I said, it's because usually you lose something significant that you have been talked about later if you edit that away. But sometimes our talks can be too long, so I have to cut them down. But mistakes, I almost never edit out. Maybe my
it depends what's said. It depends what's said. The only times I've had to edit stuff out is if someone has said something that hasn't been announced by a team or it's sort of major news, and they'll call me after and say, "Hey, can you please remove that person's name?" I don't want to sound like I'm putting them under the bus or something. So if there ever is bleeps in my podcast, which happens every now and then, it's because I'm covering stuff up or stuff slipped or whatever, exactly. Or I just take that section out, which I don't really like to do because sometimes it's good,
Yeah. Well, anyhow, how was your surf yesterday? Was it good?
Mate, I didn't get out in the end. I ended up going to the physio, and
Yeah.
then I came home and got ready, and just one of those days got busy. I ended up being busy, so I would have run out of time anyway.
Oh, yeah. All right. Too bad to hear.
Mate, but I'm actually, even after all these years of me saying no, I'll never foil, I'm actually looking at buying a kite just for foiling.
Yeah.
Just a nice single strut or a one strut kite, I can just let it go and cruise along and just let it.
I said the same thing myself as well, and I'm actually thinking about buying. A lot of my foiling friends, they have this Fly Surfer Peak. It's not a kite that is actually made for water, because it's.
I know the one.
Yeah. But it's really amazing for foiling once you've learned to foil, and it's not that expensive either. So I'm actually thinking about maybe having one of those as well.
Yeah. I was actually speaking to the Slingshot guys, talking about that, looking at that UFO. You know, the new no strut UFO they've brought out, because you can, like, they only have it. Like, I think it comes at biggest as 9 meters, right? And it packs it packs away into a little bag like that. You know, so I kind of look. Not that am I enjoying foiling? Look. There is something about it. I mean, I can go straight. I can do 1 kilometer in the direction, but the problem is I still can't turn around. The turning around, I still yet to have the confidence to turn. You know, I think because also I'm overpowered on a big kite, and when I do go to turn, I feel like it pulls me off the foil, and also I'm worried about those crashing around those foils. You know, it's okay to crash straight. I can just dive off the front of something. You know.
Yeah.
Turning has eluded me yet.
It will come, and I think that a kite like the UFO, I haven't tried it myself yet. I think it's we will see more kites like that. I know Gong has something similar as well, and but I do think that you should be a fairly decent foiler before you go to a kite like that. Just because if you mess up and it end up in the water, it might be harder to get up running in, and even if you're far away out, then it's game over.
That's a problem. That is a problem. I haven't put the kite down in the water for many years. Actually, it's a lie. The first 2 sessions of kiting, I crashed the kite about 3 times, but I think I was probably trying to get too light a wind, you know. But I'm just trying to fine tune the kite now. I'm like trying to bring the mast forward a little bit, you know, a couple of one marking a time. But I don't know where I feel comfortable yet, because every time I do it, it's different from the time before. So I'm like, I don't know if I like it. It takes me some time to get used to, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right, good. Okay, so topics for the day is, a little bit of everything, I would say. We will do a GKA update, both on the distance battle, but also on the 2 new announced events happening in Brazil. Also, you talked to Tom Hartman. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So we can have a little bit of update on that as well. So should we start with the finals of the GKA Distance Battle?
Yep.
What did you think? Did we see what we last time we spoke about it? We said that we were hoping that the last 2 days will be really good, and that will save the whole distance battle. What do you think about?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, I actually thought I thought it finished really well. I thought we probably didn't see the finals we would have liked. I think now in hindsight, I think Mika, Paula, and Liam and Maxime would have been the better finals, but that's just the way it comes, you know. That's just the way it ends. I thought the quality of their riding. I thought the quality of the riding was much better standard than we saw with the strapless. I thought that was good. I thought it turned out to be okay. You know, I mean, after speaking to Tom, I mean, there's a lot of things I'd like to do differently, right? I think they, you and I were saying during the week that, they were claiming that was this almighty success. So I think, look, it doesn't matter what product you put out, you got to put on a brave face, right?
Yeah, I believe so too. And I do agree with you. I think that the Liam's final heat was amazing to see, and also Maxime, of course. So seeing those 2 battling against each other in a final would have been the very best, and the same thing on the women's side. I listened to your podcast with Maxim, and I didn't really think about it before, but he had a really good point about they in this format there were actually no reason to have like a standard dingle, standard heat competition. So it would be much better to have them, all battling against each other, because then we would have seen the best. Didn't matter, the ladder. We would have seen the best heats at the end either way.
Yeah. I mean, listen, look, I think in general it finished well, I think in general it was a positive finish. I mean, I don't know if, I know that Tom was talking about next time having cameras inside the living room watching that, so the riders' reactions to the heat, which I think is great. But I mean, we can hardly get the interviews right, let alone adding more technical details to it. I mean, I think the reactions are not the angle they should be going. They should be looking at different formats, Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's right. I mean, I know the X Games has done some pretty cool stuff, but again, I haven't really invested much time into it because I'm not interested. It is it was done. I thought it finished on a good note, and I hope that's the last we see of it.
But according to Tom, it didn't sound like that was the last time we.
I know. I was surprised too. It's like, yeah, we're thinking about doing it next year.
We will, yeah.
I think that's just talk, right? I think they're just saying that for the sake of it being, claimed as a success. Hopefully next year they've got enough events that they won't have time to do this. They're not going to be the manpower to do this. Obviously, we want to live in a world where there is no time or resources to be putting into a distance battle, because we're going to have scheduled competitions in freestyle and strapless, and now foil freestyle. So let's hope that there's not enough time to run it next year. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I do think that since we are pretty much seeing the same riders in the ordinary stops and ordinary tour as in the distance battle, I don't think that we will see it again if we are back to ordinary times next year. But
sure.
And you mentioned there the foil freestyle. So basically we have confirmed 2 stops in Brazil. One is twin tip freestyle, and one is foil freestyle, hydro foil freestyle, and that's pretty interesting. Let's start with the hydro foil freestyle, because that's a whole new kind of category, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
it's launched that this year as well, I must say. But,
I mean, it's interesting to hear what Tom had to say. He said, look, we don't really know what's going to happen, so it's open to anything, Will we see handle pass tricks like normal freestyle? Will we see like guys doing handstands on the freestyle? On the foil, we don't know. So I think like anything, I think it'll be an open event and up to the interpretation till they can sort of work out what is right. I don't know if you heard when I did that live stream with Kevin when he won that foil surf foil competition, and I said, what was the format? He said, oh, well, it was just everyone was doing all sorts of stuff, longest ride and trying to stay on the roads the longest, because he said there was no real format. It was just sort of judged to go on. So I think that maybe after this event, if it's a success, we might see more clear parameters in place for a second event. If you look back to the original kiteboarding competitions, they're a bit of a free-for-all as well, right? Some big air, some weight style, as they used to say back in the day, some different type of stuff. And then those sort of separated out into what they are now. So, I mean, there was guys riding surfboards, guys riding twin tips. So maybe we are seeing the beginning of something new, but I think it will take a few events to work out the parameters of what is acceptable, or what is, what's the framework, let's say, going to be for foil freestyle.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting. I'm just a bit curious to see how they will handle, since if there are no like ground rules whatsoever what you can do, it will be really hard for the judges to compare tricks against each other, and to be honest, to be able to claim a rightful winner. There's no world champion, no world title in the bag here, so that of course makes it easier. But I do think that we of course have to see some ground rules in the future to be able to make it like proper competition, proper category. But
I mean, I think it's a case of let's just get one on the board.
Yeah.
Let's see how much interest is in it. I know that like Maxime is riding in, there's 2 events there. There's a wing and a foil. So I know he's riding in both. So let's see who's interested in going to that. There may be some guys who will see it after this event and think, hey man, this is something I'm going to do, I mean, I see some pretty sick foil riding around now. So maybe after they see one event, it'll be something that they think, okay, I'm going to do in the next event. So, I mean, you got to put something on to either A, form interest or B, form parameters, So I think it's a good thing. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah. And as you said, after this first competition, I guess that we will start seeing what the judges want to see and what they score, and then the whole format will adapt to that quite a bit. But interesting is that you talked about your foiling and that you're afraid of like falling, getting the foil in your head, hurting yourself. I mean, seeing what they do now when it comes to foiling and freestyling, I mean, I'm hoping that we won't see any big injuries,
Yeah, I mean that's highly possible, right? I mean that's highly possible. Are we in a position that we, I mean, again, what's the safety parameters behind it? Does everyone have to race in a helmet? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything. I'll probably I don't think there is a live stream for it, so I'll probably just have to read about it. But you would think that. I mean, I don't wear a helmet when I foil, man. I don't. I just wear shorts. So I know everyone else wears helmets. I don't see why, but I have fallen forward and the things hit me in the back of the head. Yeah. But maybe they're going to say everyone's got to wear a helmet. So let's see what comes out of that. That could be the first of many, and maybe the first of something big and new.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And also. Going to the next, we do have a twin tip freestyle in Brazil as well. It will be what do you call it? Didn't call it jam. They call it
Lahadu Gujaru. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's the spot.
It's a tongue twister, man. That's a tongue twister. But it isn't going to be in Kumbuko or Praia. It's sort of halfway between. But the reason why they've chosen that spot, by the way, is because it's an island. And part of the rules and regulations is that they're not allowed to have more than 200 people at that event, at either event. And that 200 people will basically be made up with riders, crew, and selected media. So they are closed events to the public, which will fit into the COVID guidelines of Sierra and Brazil there. So there is some purpose behind going to this sort of spot, because it isn't the major spot that we know.
And no spectators at all.
No spectators at all.
No live feed. Do you have that confirmed?
No, I think there's going to be a live feed for the freestyle, but there'll be no. I don't think there's a live feed for I don't think there's a live feed for the Hydro 4 freestyle, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I could probably check that quickly, actually.
Yeah, because I'd love to have a live stream, of course, of the.
Let me just have a quick look while we talk. Let's see if I can bring that up. So yeah, I think the reason behind the freestyle location is purely for it's one road in, one road out. They can sort of control that, There is no live stream for the Hydro 4 freestyle, but there will be live stream for the twin tip. So that's good.
Yeah, and they call it Grand Slams. And basically, I guess that's because they don't want to mix that up with the world championship, world title, because as I understood, they won't be claiming a world champion in the 20 freestyle either.
I think that's a missed opportunity. I think they should just put it all on the line. I mean, they have the ability to do that, right? I mean, just have one big event and say, okay, guys, hey, you win this, you're the world champion, because it shows continuity to the sport. We have a 19 champion, 20 champion, 21. There's nothing like a 2020 COVID. We see that with other sports. So it would be great, but and as you said, we have permission from World Sailing to do that now. So, but again, I think there is rules and regulations behind that you need to have 70 people, 70% of the people attending can travel, 70% of the fleet can travel there without restrictions. So you said that might be the problem as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing also, and I heard that when you were talking to Tom as well, and the thing is they don't know until the event actually happens if that is true or not. But it seems to me like it's a bit.
I think the decision's already made, and I know that.
But
I know that.
Why do it in so long before? Because you could actually, they could have that decision if they reach that 70%, which they probably will. To be honest, they could have because I do agree with you. I remember when we had the whole what was it called, PKRA, WCTW, whatever it's called. One year there we didn't have a world champion at all, and I kind of miss that. And I agree with you. I think with the current situation, as long as everyone knows and have the same opportunity, of course, if there's travel restrictions, then they maybe don't have that, but. It's not something that the GKA can actually, they can't do anything about it. It's not their decision, and that's how the world is, unfortunately, today. So I agree with you. I do think it's a missed opportunity to have the continuity.
Continuity,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, what I feel as well is that the chatter between the riders on WhatsApp groups and stuff was that they didn't want it to be that way as well. And I kind of like the idea of like a world champion is generally the most consistent rider in all conditions across many different events, right? That's generally how it goes. To be a world champion, you need to perform everywhere, and in the cold of Lacat, in the flat water of Dakar, in Brazil, that sort of makes what a world champion is, rather than just favoring maybe the guys who can ride in those conditions all year. So I do I can see both sides of the story, and I can see why riders would like it and would not like it. But yeah, I think they're just happy to ride, man. I think just happy to get down there and compete.
Yeah. I hope it will be a great event, and I'm really hoping for a live stream as well, because I do think that we need that. There'll
definitely be a live stream for the freestyle. I don't know about the hydro. I don't think the hydrofoil, unless people get out on their phones and go live on Instagram.
Speaking of live streams and going to, do we have something more to add with the GKA? We've been talking a lot about GKA.
I think we don't. I think we can sort of leave that and just sort of look forward to the results really and talk about it. Hopefully when it's over, and maybe maybe we can talk about that on the next one. But maybe the hydrofoil freestyle will be over then, and we can chat about that. And then we'll have a riders list or a fleet list for the freestyle, and we can sort of maybe pick a few winners.
Yeah. But speaking of live stream, I'm actually part of one of the positives about doing all this that I've done this year in the kitesurfing community is that I get a lot of connections, and one of them is actually in the Big Air Kite League. So we are looking into doing a stop. I can probably say that we are probably going to do a Big Air Kite League stop here in Sweden in November, which is really, really cold. But we actually found a solution to be able to live stream that whole event as well.
Wow, cool, awesome.
And yeah, I'm hoping, and that's why I'm actually I'm really trying to do that, because that will make the whole event much more, like a proper event. And we don't see a lot of live streams. We haven't had that this year, so I'm really hoping to do that. And it's a simple solution, but I think it's better than
what's the format for your competition?
It will be the same as the Big Air Kite League you saw in Tatachuba. So it'll be hopefully like 18 riders. And
are you going to do invitation only, or are you going to put it out there for guys to come?
We're gonna put it out there, and that's the plan. I'm not driving this. I'm helping, and I'm part of it. They will use my heat scoring system as well, and I will be a head judge and hopefully be a riding head judge as well. So I do want to be part of it. If I manage to get into the fleet, there's some really good riders here as well, of course. And if we do get anyone from the outside, that will be even harder. But yeah, hopefully there will be full fleet and an enjoyable, cold but enjoyable Big Air Kite League competition. Yeah.
The Big Air Snow League. Yeah.
It's decent still here. I was out riding yesterday and was still, I mean, we are starting to use like the hood and gloves and everything, but you can still ride pretty decent without, too much on you. Is in terms of Swedish standards. So yeah. But looking at
when is that event happening? November.
Yeah, we will probably go out with invitation like this week, and there will be like it will be a weekend, but we will hike like 5 or 6 weekends when we have the waiting period. Yeah, so sometime in November is most likely, and if we need to push it into first weekend or first 2 weekends in December, we can actually do that as well. But
so only Scandinavian riders, right?
Most
Sweden,
likely,
Denmark.
yeah, I'm guessing so. We do have to, since we don't have like no guarantee of wind. We will announce the green light on Thursday for the competition on Saturday. So yeah, that's how we have to do it, unfortunately.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I look forward to that.
Yeah. So and I do want to end this a little bit with my own project this year, community project, the Kite Games, which ended like last weekend. I think if I look back at it, what do you feel about it? I mean, you have followed me and followed the project. So let me just first.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, I thought some amazing. I thought some amazing entries from the people. I think the key from your side is how are you going to keep it fresh for next year, right? That's going to be the step from you, because what are you going to do to take it to year 2? I actually thought the 2 main videos I saw, which was the UK Groms, I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
I never saw much from the no work team, so they were a bit of a surprise to me. So I didn't see much of them. Obviously, the mermaids I had followed quite a bit, so that was quite cool to see. But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a nice little change to kite competition. But what's the plan for year 2?
Yeah. That's actually I'm pretty confident that I want to do version 2 next year. I've already said in my media that there will be a 2021 edition or 2.0, whatever we decide to call it. But I do think we need to change a little bit. The reason for it, because I have loved the whole project, and I've seen every team that has contributed to social media and all the clips and everything, that has been perfect. But in the end, I was hoping that we would get a bit more teams in, of course, but it was the first year. So I think now for the next year we will have better what's it called, a better foundation, better background to be able to get more teams. We have been now promoted in a couple of kitesurfing magazines, sites, whatever. So people are starting to know what the Kite Games is, Also, I would like to find a solution where we get more videos in the end, because we had basically like 30 teams that signed up, but not even half of them ended up sending in a video in the end. And
yeah, maybe there's a better collection way, right? Maybe you could do it. They could hashtag and send in the trick hashtag, and you can click the tricks by hashtag, which might mean you don't really want the work either, but. Yeah, maybe there's maybe year 2 that the key is a simpler collection process.
Yeah, something like that. But I do want to have, looking at. I got a text from the mermaids, the Copenhagen mermaids, who by the way did an amazing edit. I will link everything in the description as well. And I got a text from them saying, "Hey, we had a video night here. The whole mermaid."
Yeah, I saw that. I saw. Yeah, that was cool.
That for me was like, that's what I wanted to have, because there were some really good edits coming in. There's some good videos, and I want to have that as the finale of the whole thing. The winners aren't the most important thing. The feeling of the community and the videos and the whole stoke about kite surfing, that's what I wanted to get. So I'm trying to get these two things together in a better format for next year, and also of course thinking about new missions to do. So yeah.
How cool was what they did? Get together and they had the team talk and they put their video in and the entry. I thought it was. I saw it on the Instagram stories. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
but
me too.
But listen, I think that finding that niche is the key, right?
Yeah.
You know, good friends getting together, doing stuff. I mean, kiteboarding is what's pulling them all together, you know, and I know they're involved with she flies as well. So I think maybe finding those, maybe getting involved with she flies might be a good idea, and getting those guys involved and get more teams out of them, you know.
I think so. I actually talked to Josie on She Flies about it as well. She wanted to sign up with a team. She actually told me, but it was a little bit too late. She had too much to do. And, you know, they have the girl camps. And I saw that actually they had a She Fly event with Jalou Langre here in Sweden.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're really busy. But I think if we are a bit earlier in the process for next year and get the word out in time, I think we can get a lot more teams, both from She Flies, but of course in general.
Sure.
Yeah,
that could be cool. Look, I mean, hey, the pressure's on you, man. I mean, that's the key, right? I mean, the pressure is on to keep out. That's what the good thing is. I don't have any seasons, you know, but like, but mate, people always find something to complain about, right? That's just human nature. So you need to need to overcome that somehow. But I think, mate, it was good, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what season 2 brings, you know. And when is season 2 going to start?
I haven't decided that. I'm just I'm in the post process of doing, you know, everything now from season 1 here. So I'm just trying to get my thoughts together and probably get one or two of my kite surfing buddies to help me out a little bit more for next year as well. But you should know that I decided to do the Kite Games on a Friday, I think it was, and on Monday I had registered the domain and I put out a website and I actually pushed a button to say, okay, you can register now. So this was just something, you know, really quickly I wanted to get out, and I changed a little bit, you know, in the first week, but pretty much it's the same as the first thing that I put out there. So I want
you took out the kite naked. That was a very That was a very Scandinavian. That was probably a good idea over the wines you were drinking, and then you thought, and the next day you thought, hang on a second.
I know it wasn't the best mission. I actually got some fun clips from some of my Danish teams that say, "Hey, why did you take this spot out? Look at this." But we of course we have to think about and also that's one of the comments I got from one of the news magazines that contacted me as well. Say, "Hey, why
don't you put it out there to the teams who registered last year? Hey, you know, as part of being in the foundation year, you get to name it, you know, suggest a mission. Get them to suggest a mission. So this could be the Kite Games mission, the Mermaids mission, you know, no work mission. And, you know, they can make it as easy as tough as they want, you know. So, you know, maybe so every one of the teams that put in a video get the opportunity to create their own mission and scoring points and present it to you, and it can go in. So they can, as a foundation, they can have some ownership in those missions, you know. Maybe host a Big Air Kite League could be a mission in there as well, you know. Host a Big Air Kite League, and that could be worth some points. So that sort of that starts tying it and linking it all together.
Yeah, that's many good ideas, and that's one of the reasons. I wanted to bring it up with you as well, because I do want to have ideas from others as well. And one thing that I've got from a couple of people actually is to have a new category, like a real newbie category, because I learned so much, progression from our tricks and doing the missions in the Kite Games myself. It's been a blast, you know, learning to do the board off and the tic tac and, you know, foiling, duck tack and everything in there. And I know that I talked to mermaids about it as well, and they say, hey, we learned so much. We want to have new missions next year so we can keep progressing. But I do think that you need to have a certain level to be able to be part of it. And of course, it's more fun to watch a bit more craziness and a bit more higher level of riding. But either way, I think we will actually probably remove the pro category and have a beginner category instead as well. So maybe.
I mean, I think, for example, like the mermaids win in enthusiast, right? So they win in their enthusiast category. But then on the other side, you've got the kite groms. They're all like go straight into the advanced category, you know. So you're going to need to have maybe stretch that advanced category needs to be stretched up a little bit, and the enthusiast maybe needs to stretch both ways, you know. If that makes sense. You know, so you're going to have more basic moves, which other people can find they can get involved in, or maybe one of the scoring categories in the series is hey, introduce a friend to the sport and get them riding upwind. You know, get them riding.
Yeah,
you know, maybe that brings more people into the sport. Find a friend day, bring a friend, and get them riding. The more people you can get into your group who have never kited and then start kiting is worth 10 extra points. You know, I mean, lots of ideas, right?
Yeah.
See, I've got all these great ideas, mate. I just don't do them myself.
No, send them to me. I can do them.
You're recording this, man. You're recording this.
I am recording it. But if you have any more, of course, then you can send it to me, of course, as well. So.
But that could be quite cool, you know?
Yeah,
bring a friend.
I've enjoyed it, and I got so many good comments and words from people all around the world. And there were a couple of teams from the Southern Hemisphere that wanted to have a specific Kite Games competition in there. That's also one of the reasons I want to get out the next version as soon as possible now, because then they can start doing their missions now.
They're in their spring, right? I mean, it's springtime down there, so
So I want to get that out, because I do think that there could be potentially a lot of teams from New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, everywhere. So I want this to be for everyone. That's the plan.
Yeah.
All right. Adrian, episode 7. Should we?
How long was that? I felt like that was one of our quick ones. How long was that?
I think we've been on for like 40 minutes or something like that.
Oh man, remember when we first started? Then we first started. These were like no more than 20 minutes.
No, that's you said that.
I was just thinking that maybe people didn't want to listen to us for more than 20 minutes. People don't seem to want to listen to us anyway. But I mean, let's say for not 40 minutes. So
well, it's better those who want to listen to us, but they can have a little bit more than 20 minutes, and those who don't want to listen to us, they won't listen to 20 minutes anyway. So
they won't make it through the first. They won't make it through the first 5 minutes of bloopers. But anyway, actually, I'll tell you what, next month, I'll tell you what, another thing we can talk about is the Whaleys.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Whaleys.
Pushing forward on the Whaleys. Pushing forward hard on the Whaleys. I'm just finalizing. The rest of the trophies are coming over the next few days.
Oh, that's amazing. Put that up a little bit slower in front of the camera again so we have it. Can we see it again?
So that is one of the Whaleys there.
Yeah. It's amazing. How many? Well, we will have our totally dedicated show for the Whaleys. But how many trophies are you planning to give away?
I can't tell you that at the moment because the Whaleys are for example, the Whaleys will only be like for the top awards, right?
Yeah. So, like
for example, like if you're only getting one of the top awards, you'll get one of these amazingly crafted out of the COVID situation Whaleys.
Yeah.
Man, it's so hard to. It actually is very. It looks better in person. It's actually hard to see against because of the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
So that's a Liam Whaley special. So the Whaleys, yeah. So there's going to be half the bottom half of the awards will be called the awards, and then the top half will be called the Whaleys. So the Whaleys will be like the serious awards, and then the awards will just be for some fun.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have. I think we've got 5 Whaleys, and then we've got like 6 or 7 just fun awards. But that's there's a whole lot of missions going on there to record those at the moment. So that's the whole of the game. That's that. As I say, as Colin and I say, it's going to be Jason's problem.
Yeah. Was this was the plan to do this as big as it is now, or has it just grown beyond what you thought?
Well, I mean, the original idea, man, is I actually pitched it to the Kite Mag, right? To do it. I said, let's do a proper award show, and they said no. And I said, oh, I'm going to do my own awards then. And then I just thought, hey, man, why didn't I get Colin involved with me? And so yeah, it's just grown from that. I mean, it's got pretty serious, man. I mean, we've got like scripts, we've got all these scripts and stuff, but now we're getting to the stage where like, see the original, I mean, one of the main problems that we had was that I was going to have to record all of mine separately on a green screen. So there would be no interaction. So there'd be no back and forward. I was just going to record all my parts and then send the information to Jason, and Jason was going to have to edit it. And then we thought, hang on a minute, we're going to lose probably half the essence of the show, right?
Yeah. The dynamic between you and Colin is amazing.
Yeah. So then I thought, how are we going to do that? Originally, we were going to do it in StreamYard, but we can't do the face filter. Just the dynamics around Colin is one problem. So anyway, now we've done some practice green screen shots. Maybe I can show you here, which are pretty funny. Just me doing some samples. So that is.
By the way, you do know I'm recording this, right?
yeah. I'm not going to show. I'll show you after.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, mate, we've got some. Dude, I'll show you this. We've got an opening ceremony. I don't know if this is. If I should show you this now, maybe I'll show it to you after.
Let's keep it to the. We do a specific.
Yes, but I can show you this green screen. I can show you this green screen one. This is green screen stuff. This is all trial recordings for. Okay, so that then gets edited into the studio. So that's me on the green screen in front of Colin's studio. Yeah, that's a lot of work. And dude, some people will be pissed off. Some people will be happy to be involved. Some people not so much. So we'll see.
All right. Thank you so much, Adrian. I won't keep you any longer.
Cool.
Always a pleasure, as always. And looking forward to doing the next one soon. And also, of course, doing one on the Whaleys. I'm super excited to know more about it.
Whaleys. All right. Once you stop this, I'll show you this video.
All right. Good. Thanks, mate. Bye.